Hold on. That right there, it's a fucking privilege. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. It's fucking insane, bro. It's insane. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Let's turn the music on. Hey, Royal. How you doing, Queen? I'm doing okay, but I'm not happy right now. I'm sick. I'm sick right now. I'm sick right now, honestly. Because of the shit that's going on with our tax money and all these people that are dying, with our government supporting this shit. And I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with how fucking privileged people are to be able to be like, nah, I don't want to look. Nah, I don't want to see that. And it's like, that mentality right there is exactly why people are fucking dead. And the thought that we could just like stop looking on social media, or just like stop looking at Twitter. Oh, this is a trigger. It's like, people are fucking dying. This is the same thing that as Black people during slavery, we're like, how did people allow this to happen? You know, people are like, oh, there's no way. If I was there back in slavery days, there's no way I would have went for that. The Holocaust, how did we let this happen? But it's like, when shit is happening in real time, in real life, niggas are like, nah, I don't want to see that. It's triggering. I don't want to see that. That don't have nothing to do with me. Yes, the fuck it does. Yes, the fuck it does, when we're funding this shit, when our government fully supports this shit. And the fact that niggas are so quick to like avoid it, it's just fucking disgusting. Like, I'm disgusted with so many fucking people. I'm disgusted with the news. I'm disgusted with the people that want to turn away from this shit. I'm disgusted with literally everybody that's in a position of privilege that's not using their voice to actually fucking say something. Y'all are fucking spineless. Y'all have nothing to stand on. In the fucking media that's like twisting this shit and fueling hate, it's just fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. And it's like, the fucking privilege to be like, oh, that don't have nothing to do with me. But I'm off of my disgust, so I'm gonna talk about the news. I don't give a fuck who's here, who's not here. I don't give a fuck if people want to see it or don't want to see it. I don't give a fuck if people so-called don't want to be my friend no more because whatever the fuck, because I don't support, you know, just trying to wipe people off the face of the earth. Don't give a fuck about none of that. Never have, never will. I'm always going to speak about what's important. And I'll be damned if I have a platform and I have to cater to what everybody else wants every time I get on this bitch. So that's all I got to say about it. That's all I have to say about it. And it's like, if you do have a platform, you're not fucking saying anything, you're not educating yourself, you're not trying to learn fucking something. What the fuck are you doing? What are we doing? Like, I'm scrolling down my timeline on Twitter, you know, I just see people going about their life, you know, going about talking about fucking celebrities, you know, going on talking about fucking gossip. It's like, what the fuck? The government barely got to do any work to fucking like distract this. We distract ourselves. We distract ourselves, and then we're like, oh well, this don't have nothing to do with me, so fuck that. Fuck that. It's everybody always got that energy until it's them or their group affected, and then we wonder why nobody's looking at the crazy shit that happens to us. So I'm honestly sick of that, bro. I'm sick. I'm disgusted with people. I'm disgusted with people who are trying to justify this shit. And just seeing all the people like from different governments, like, oh, you know, Israel got the right to defend itself. Look, my nigga, one country got a military that's backed by the United States and every other big fucking country in the world. The other one doesn't. The other one is not all representative of one organization, my nigga. They just bombed a fucking hospital. They've already been doing that, but this is the most blatant one. And I've already seen in the fucking media, these people are trying to say, oh, it was Hamas. They misfired a missile and it blew the hospital up. They really think we're dumb. They really think we're fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. I just feel like people should be insulted by the way that the media has tried to like spin shit. And it's like, I just saw a video on Twitter of just yesterday from this same hospital. The kids were outside. Kids were outside. Here it is. What's good, Streamcloud? How we feeling today? This is yesterday. Outside the hospital. They were sheltering in the hospital. Some people were getting treated. And I did see the video. I'm not gonna show the video because it's too graphic, but I did see the video of the aftermath of the strike to this hospital. And it's just pieces of bodies all over the place, babies. I saw a picture of a baby corpse that was half blown off. Half of the baby's body was blown off. And it's like, niggas got the privilege to just swipe away and be like, oh, that's a trigger. Imagine having to actually fucking be there. Imagine not being able to literally do anything to defend yourself. You can't go to shelter. They bomb the fucking shelters. Can't go to the hospital. They bomb the hospitals. They bomb the ambulances. They bomb the fucking medical aid workers. They cut the water, cut the food off, cut the electricity off. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, these people literally can't do anything. They're trapped. They're trapped. They can't leave. Can't just walk away. They can't just decide to not look. And we got people like justifying this shit. We have people like cheering this on. Like, we got politicians saying finish them. Like, it's just, it does not feel real. This does not feel like real life. It's funny to me how like only certain type of kids matter. You know, this evil ass bitch that runs the country of Israel just put out a tweet yesterday that he deleted after the hospital was bombed. Let me find it. Oh, here's the tweet. He put this out yesterday. Prime Minister of Israel This is a struggle between the children of light and the children of darkness, between humanity and the law of the jungle. This is who our tax money's supporting, by the way. But the tweet got deleted today. Sure, they bombed the hospital. Oh, and by the way, they're trying to say that the hospital wasn't hit with a missile. It wasn't hit with a strike. They said, oh, it's a misfire. It's a misfire of a missile from Hamas. They think we're fucking stupid. Yes, he said a struggle between the children of light and the children of darkness. We know what he means by that. It's deleted now. Oh, and by the way, there was somebody running around. Hold on, let me remove this. There was somebody running around. I don't know where all my fucking saved tweets went because I have more than this saved. Oh, here it goes. Because whenever it's generalized statements about kids, about them referring to Israeli kids, right? See, here's the guy. So now they're trying to put out propaganda that this shit was from somebody else. They said it was from Hamas, but look at this little nigga right here. He works with the fucking Netanyahu who runs Israel. What did he say after the strikes happened? Let's see. He reported, Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas terrorist base inside a hospital in Gaza. A multiple number of terrorists are dead. It's heartbreaking that Hamas is launching rockets from hospitals, mosques, schools, and using civilians as human shields. That's the narrative they're going with, human shields. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So now look at the tweet he put out afterward. He deleted the original one. Now he's saying, Hamas blames Israel for this. I believe it's either a failed rocket that hit the hospital or something that was done on purpose in order to get international support. These niggas are trying to say that these people killed their own people just to get international support, as if what y'all already did was not enough, as if the shit that we know that Israel has done is not enough to get international support. So now they're putting out fucking conspiracy theories. Just saying, the fucking propaganda is deep out here. And if you watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever other fucking mainstream, they're programming you. Just know there's some other stuff in here. I swear all my bookmarks did not save. All of my bookmarks did not save. I don't know if Twitter's fucking conspiring to not give me all the shit that I saved. This shit did not save. These bookmarks did not save. Nope, they didn't save. I don't want to scroll down the Twitter timeline because it's probably gonna be something bad or graphic. I don't even know, bro. What? Okay, this is insane. This says, this is from Arabic IDF, which is Israeli Defense Forces. This is their Arabic page. They said, due to the lack of medical equipment and the lack of medical staff, it was decided to bomb the Baptist hospital in Gaza and give them euthanasia death. Mind y'all, this is an official page. It's just the Arabic version. Like, there's really no other way to put it. This is a fucking genocide. They're literally trying to wipe these people off the earth. They're killing the kids and they're killing the women to stop future generations of these people existing. And we do have some education to make things a little bit more clear. I've been learning a little bit about the difference between Judaism and Zionism. They are not the same thing. Zionists are people who believe that Jewish people deserve a promised land and that land has been given to them by God. But there's actually a movement, crazy enough, there's actually a movement of fellow Jews, but they're religious Jewish people who say Zionism is actually against their religion. So I'm gonna let the rabbi speak because I'm still actively a student of this, but I think this is a very important distinction to make, because what's frustrating is that these Zionist people who are literally like just racist and supremacists, these people are using Judaism as a religion to group them with religious Jews so that if we critique them, then we're anti-Semitic. So I'm gonna let the rabbi explain this, because he's gonna explain to us here why Zionism and Jewish people having their own country is actually against their religion. I did not know this, I didn't understand this, but I think this is important to understand, because what these racist people are doing who are running this country of Israel is making it dangerous for regular Jewish people. They're actually the ones contributing to anti-Semitism, because the average person doesn't know the difference between a person who practices Judaism and does not agree with this versus the Zionists. Zionist is like, it's basically like the Jewish version of white supremacists, but they try to confuse us and mix it up with us to make it seem like it's the same thing, and it's not. And I think for us to, like, you know, really understand this, we need to understand that there's a difference and they aren't interchangeable. So I'm gonna let the rabbi cook. Let's listen to what he says.
The destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago, we were given
Hold on, let's turn it up. It's a little quiet. Let's listen to this.
an edict, a decree by God, prophecy of King Solomon, that we ought not to attempt to recreate our sovereignty. Even 1 inch of Jewish sovereignty, even in an uninhabited land, is expressly forbidden. Jews wait for the day when God will make a miracle where all humanity will serve him in harmony. Prior to that event, we are expressly forbidden to try to attempt to make any Jewish nationalism sovereignty, and this was respected and upheld by Jews throughout the trials and tribulations of the Inquisition, the Crusades, and every time period of Judaism when they were easily capable of buying land. They never did it because they understood this is against the will of the Almighty, and this is not what it means to be a Jew.
Are you in a minority? Is this simply your reading of the Torah?
No, this is the view of Judaism and Jews who are practicing the religion. First, we have called the rabbis speak out. This is the leaders of Judaism from Sephardic, Ashkenazic, in other words, European, Middle Eastern, any country. The rabbis, when Zionism came, the concept of Zionism was developed, the Jewish rabbinical authorities universally said, no, this is forbidden for us to do. The reason being that it is not the concept of subservience to God, it's a nationalism, and in its actions, it comes into fruition when they created the state. The concept of stealing from people, killing, stealing, is all forbidden according to the Torah. So in every facet, Zionism is a rebellion against the command of God. The fathers of Zionism in the 1895, in the 1890s, when they made their first meetings, they discussed making their national home in Uganda, in Patagonia, and because they were anti-religious, Theodor Herzl, Ben Gurion, well, at that time, Jabotinsky, Theodor Herzl, these people detested the religion, as we have a compilation of their writings. In his own diary, Theodor Herzl wrote that Jews should convert to Christianity. That would be the solution to the Jewish problem.
Oh, wow.
And it should be done in pride and music. On page 14 of his diaries, we will get to that with God's help. And he didn't circumcise his son. He openly wrote about this in the newspapers, that he's not circumcising his one son in the hands. So they detested religion.
So that's
We have
one. So let's listen to him. So this guy is like one of the leading rabbis in the world and has been trying to like get people to understand that being a Zionist, which means you believe the state of Israel belongs to Jewish people and only Jewish people, is not the same as being Jewish and being religious.
Message for this Nakba Day, for this 75 years of occupation. We want the world to know that what is being perpetrated against the Palestinian people, the oppression, the subjugation, the terrible cruelty, is not in the name of our religion. It is not in the name of the Star of David. It is not in the name of the Jewish people around the world who are true to the Jewish religion. Because we are Jewish and because we are true to our religion, we are in total opposition to the existence of the Zionist state of Israel. I call it Zionist state of Israel because it is Zionist. It is not Jewish. Judaism in the Torah forbids Jews to have our own sovereignty, our own entity since the destruction of the temples, and Jews true to the Torah never aspire or try to have our own state. We also are forbidden to kill or to steal. The whole concept of taking this land away from the Palestinian people, it is totally antithetical and is contradictory to my religion, Judaism. Jews have always, from day one, stood up against this Zionist entity. We as Jews continue. Because we are true to the Torah, we stand and demonstrate, and we cry and suffer and feel the suffering of the Palestinian people. We want the world to know we are in solidarity, we are together with the Palestinian people in their suffering, and we hope and pray to God constantly for the total end of the occupation. We want the world to know that the Zionist movement is not a Jewish movement. It was a political, material movement created by heretics, and they simply try to incorporate our religion in order to intimidate and silence people and call them anti-Semitic if they stand in opposition. But this is patently false. Anti-Semitic is supporting the state of Israel. It is a cause of exacerbating anti-Semitism by
I don't want to see violence.
We gotta let the rabbi cook.
I don't want to see death. I want to see the end of the occupation and the ongoing violations of Palestinian human rights. The actions of a politically isolated group shouldn't be held to the same standard as a modern nuclear-armed state that gets billions in military aid. Let's be clear, this was in no way an unprovoked attack. This is a response to over 70 years of oppression, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, settler violence, murder, administrative detention, collective punishment, disrespecting Al-Aqsa, raiding and demolishing Palestinian homes, the 20-year blockade of Gaza, and the ongoing dehumanization of the Palestinian people. There is a difference between terrorism and resistance. I don't want to see violence.
And you know what's crazy, chat? The other thing I learned is that actually, like in Israel, when Jewish people stand up to the Israeli government or military, they get beat, they get shot, they get killed. It's not any better for them. They actually like terrorize the Orthodox or religious Jewish people. They terrorize them. They put them in jail. So like, this little smoke screen they're trying to give us where it's like, oh, you know, we're protecting Jewish people, that is bullshit. They literally attack their own Jewish people. They killed their own Jewish people over there in Israel that disagree with what they do. In fact, I just saw something the other day where Israel is about to enact a new law where anyone in the country, especially Jewish people, that hurt the morale of the state are going to be put in jail. What does that mean? Let's explain it in more simple terms. Basically, what they're saying is, if you critique the government or what they're doing, they're giving themselves the right to put you in jail, point blank, period, and they're going to write it into law. That is literally totalitarianism. That's not any type of democratic, normal form of government. That is a fascist government. That is a regime. That is a fascist regime. And I don't know how much more clear they can make that. And even if you're outside of Israel, even if you're in the United States and you so much as express support for Palestinian people, I've been seeing people losing their jobs. I've been seeing people get blackballed. I've been seeing college students get attacked. I've been seeing people get doxxed. There was a whole bus going around, I think it was Boston. I don't know if I can find it, but it was one of those little trucks that had like screens on all sides of the truck. So there's one big screen on the right side, there's one on the back, and there's another screen on the other side on the back of a truck. And it had pictures of college students with their names, their full names, their faces rotating. Like it was a slideshow of college students who expressed support for Palestine. Even though they condemned the violence of Hamas, they just expressed that they support Palestine. And they had those people's faces plastered all over that truck and were driving the truck around town and had something above it like Harvard students that support, or Harvard University's anti-Semites. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is like, I feel like I'm living in the fucking Twilight Zone. So people have enough influence and power to where they're trying to demonize, they're paying to demonize and make sure people can't get jobs, make sure people get fired just for critiquing what is going on. I'm just saying, that is insane. One thing I will say, people who are actually oppressed don't have the power to oppress other people. It's just not a thing. It doesn't work like that. If you are oppressed, you don't have the power to make people lose their jobs. You don't have the power to dox people. You don't have the power to actually, you know, like use real military lethal force and have other countries blocking you. You don't have the power to get other countries like the United States to bring literal warships on the coast of your country. Like, it's just not a thing. I don't know. I feel like they might get beat right here. I don't know. Trigger warning chat. I feel like these people could get beat. I don't know. I'm a little worried about this video. I've seen him beat kids. He told him, get out of here. They said Zionists have gathered against me. So this is them protesting. And what's crazy, these Orthodox Jewish people have been protesting against this stuff for years. They've been protesting against this for years. And what sucks, some of these people are the ones who end up getting attacked, even though they support the other people, because you got a whole government trying to twist, you know, what it means to be Jewish with the national identity. It's sick, because the innocent people are going to be the ones who are attacked for what the people in power are doing. It's a bunch of people in fucking suits. I don't know. I want to fast forward. I'm scared they gonna beat the kids or something. Oh, they ran them off. This is one of the decent videos, because in a lot of the other videos they end up beating people or killing them. So let's watch this video about the strikes, which just happened. Now they're trying to fucking twist the story about this shit.
Of Gaza writes back. We're going to head to Ramallah now, where Imran Khan...
So now we got protests all over the country. And then if we start seeing terrorist attacks, right, they're going to use that as more justification to go into war. I'm telling y'all, we are literally on the brink of a war that's going to take our soldiers and put them back over there. They already sent 2,000 specialized troops from the United States yesterday, or getting them prepared to go. But if Israel does not stop what they're doing to these people, them bombing the hospital is probably what's going to get other countries involved, because they were already talking about it over the weekend, possibly getting involved if Israel doesn't stop, you know, harming people that have nothing to do with this. And them bombing the hospital and then trying to blame it on it's just fucking disgusting. And I already see the mainstream media outlets trying to justify that shit. I already see that. Literally, I already see it. I don't know where all my videos went. Hold on. See, Twitter's on some bullshit, because I'm scared. I'm really scared to scroll on Twitter. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go look for it and then I'll show you guys. But because there's a lot of graphic videos and I don't want to get banned for accidentally scrolling past something crazy. But it's bad, guys.
Joins
it's bad.
Pardon me, Imran is in occupied East Jerusalem. We're seeing pictures of protests in...
Bro, this is about to turn into a whole regional war, and I just want people to understand, our government is probably, when these other countries get involved, which a lot of them have already threatened to get involved before this happened, so this is an escalation. They're gonna send our fucking soldiers over there, and some more of our soldiers are about to fucking die over what's going on in somebody else's country. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm so fucking sick of this happening. I'm so sick of people, this country, going to send our soldiers, who a lot of them are there because they want affordable health care, they want to go to college, they want to be able to take care of their family. Our people about to die because these niggas can't stop committing genocide. Like, that is just insane to me. Like, we're about to go sacrifice the people that represent our country, and they don't have a choice. They can't be like, oh, I'm not gonna go. That's the fucked up part. They can't be like, oh, this is like morally unjust, I don't stand with this. They just have to go out there and be fucking soldier bots. They have to be soldier bots and just do whatever they're told to fucking do. And it's just so dumb to me, bro. This is so dumb. But like, all I'm saying, chat, if you start seeing like terrorist attacks and stuff start happening, either United States, and here's the other thing that's scary, the soldiers and military people who were all across the Middle East, stationed all across the Middle East, they're gonna start having terrorist attacks happening to them too. They're gonna start having shit like, this shit doesn't just affect this one area. If you have family that's in the military and they're stationed fucking anywhere, you should be worried. You should be worried, because there's other people in those areas that have their family members who are dying, people who they share religion with dying, and a lot of them are kind of getting driven crazy by the fact that a lot of countries are allowing this shit to happen. So, you know, some people, like, when they get driven crazy, they're gonna do some crazy shit. We already saw one happen in I think it was Brussels like a day or two ago. So it's like, this shit has an effect on everybody. I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing a bunch of bad shit start happening in the United States and everywhere, because we keep allowing this shit to go on, and we're supporting it. And Biden is going to Israel tomorrow, and he said he's going to show his firm support. And it's just like, you're supporting war crimes.
Ramallah, Imran, can you talk us through what's happening there?
Well, there are a huge number of people out on the streets. This is by far the biggest protest that we've seen in Ramallah since October the 7th, when all of this began. Now, since October the 7th, people have been out on the streets of Ramallah showing their support for the Gaza Strip. Those protests were small, but they were frequent. They were happening 3 or 4 times a day, but nowhere near this kind of number. Clearly, something has sparked them to come out on the streets, whether it's the hospital bombing, the 2 incidents actually took place around the same time. Certainly that would have spurred the protesters to keep on the streets.
Oh, wow, they're throwing shit at the police trucks.
Main square in Ramallah, and they're now walking
as they
around the streets
should.
of
Like,
Ramallah. That's something
this shit is
that we
insane,
do see
bro.
them do a lot. This is not about being in one place. This is about showing the entire occupied West Bank that there is support there for the people of Gaza. Now, whilst all of this was happening, Emily, we heard that President Mahmoud Abbas is refusing to meet with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the US president, is actually in Israel on Wednesday. He's going to go to Jordan. He's in Jordan. He'll be meeting with the Egyptian leader Sisi.
I don't think they want to talk to you, bro.
Abdullah of Jordan. In that meeting was supposed to be President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority. He's now not in that meeting. We're hearing that he's now actually on his way back from Ramallah. Why is that happening? Well, we don't know. There's been no official confirmation of this. But clearly, Mahmoud Abbas is looking at the streets of Ramallah, looking at the streets of the occupied West Bank, where all these demonstrations are taking place. He's reading the mood of Palestinian people on the streets, and he's certainly...
Yo, thank you, Green Eagle. I hope you have a great day.
...support for the people of Gaza. So any wrong step from him is going to cost him very dearly politically. He's also been calling for a ceasefire for a very long time, almost since this began on October 7th. The US, the UK, Japan voted against, and the French rather, voted against a Russian-backed Security Council resolution for a ceasefire in the humanitarian corridor. That's might
so
be
crazy.
The driving force. He may well just be so frustrated with the Americans that he simply feels he's got nothing to talk to them about.
Yeah, so one of the leaders of the other countries were supposed to meet with Biden tomorrow, and he just canceled. So it's probably after they saw the hospital shit or what was happening. He's probably like, what do I need to talk to y'all for? You said you come in here to show your full support, with no pleas for them to stop targeting civilians. Like, why would they want to talk to us? Why would they want to talk to the United States? All of our political leaders have expressed their full unconditional support. Our support should not be unconditional, but it's because they have ulterior motives and other agendas why they're doing this shit.
His big push is for a ceasefire, and if that's not happening, then why is he in that room with President Joe Biden?
Exactly.
Okay, we have to
They
leave it
said
there.
they don't even want to talk
Imran
about a
Khan in
ceasefire.
occupied-
It's like, how could you possibly say there needs to be peace or, you know, anything like that if you don't want to cease fire? Like, why do you want to let them keep doing this? One side has disproportionately more military aid connections. Oh, and by the way, American taxpayers, Israel just asked us for another financial aid package. So next time you go to your grocery store and you see how our government's letting, you know, these stores jack up the prices, and you see how inflation's affecting your stuff, next time you go fill up your gas tank and the gas price goes up, you know, next time it's hard to pay rent or find a house because, you know, they're allowing private companies to buy up all the fucking houses and jack the prices up. You know, next time you go through any type of financial hardship, go to the hospital, need some type of financial care, and it costs an arm and a leg, just know our government could actually be making all those things easier for us if they spent our tax money differently. But instead, our tax dollars are gladly going towards funding a genocide and funding political instability in countries all over the world. So I just want y'all to know, like, next time they tell us they can't pay for something, just remember, anytime any of these countries ask for money for a war or ask for some weapons, our country is real quick to get a bill signed saying, oh yeah, here, we'll write you a check for X billion dollars. No problem. We'll give you 8 billion, 10 billion. We'll give you 50. We'll give you 200 billion. Like, they keep telling us all this stuff we can't afford, but they always find money for war, and they always find money for destruction, murder, genocide, political instability, chaos, money, oil, power. Like, they're always willing to put some money behind that. So I'm just saying, like, it's just kind of crazy. Oh, and by the way, I did see something the other day. What is it? Unusual Wells. So check this out. They don't find money, they print more, which dilutes our money and robs us. Exactly. And who takes on the cost of that? We do, not them. Oh, and by the way, they also somehow always find a way to, like, put money into war stocks or sell off things, you know, before we even know things are an issue, which obviously means it's coordinated. So let's check out my favorite stocks options Twitter account, Unusual Wells, because they report on a lot of stock news, all types of things. So they love to give us information when politicians are buying and selling stocks, especially when it's around some type of event. Like, so let's see, hold on, let's see. Oh my God, y'all, we're fucking going to war. Cat, we're going to, like, big war. Lebanon's Hezbollah said tomorrow is a day of unprecedented anger against Israel and Biden's visit to Israel. Chat. It's GG's. That's it. They wanted a war, they got a war. And Biden got on fucking 60 Minutes the other day talking about, oh, we're America. We're America. We could take on the war in Ukraine. We're the greatest country in the world. We could take on the war in Israel. We can do all that. Oh, and look at this. White House to ask Congress for $100 billion for Ukraine, Israel, and border security. So I told y'all they always find a way to, like, make money happen for the things they care about. So just remember, I don't give a fuck if people are Democrat, Republican, all of them are fucking corrupt. All of them have to bow down to their lobbyist overlords, their tech overlords. They have to, because that's how fucking crooked and broken the system is. What's good, Justy? How are we feeling today? Palestinian Hamas leader has said that the U.S. holds the responsibility of the hospital attack because of the cover it gives to the Israeli aggression. It has called on all Arabs, Muslims, to stage protests against Israel. So like I told y'all before, these other countries and organizations are not going to go or just sitting by while the United States and these other countries allow this. I think was it Colombia? Colombia's president had was speaking against Israel the other day. They said we're not gonna cooperate with people that commit genocide. And they expelled the Israeli representative in their country, which is a pretty big deal. So, yo, what's good, Avery? How we feeling today, fam? So this is what the IDF said. These niggas are lying, by the way. Of course, this is like the government investigating themselves and coming to the conclusion that they didn't do it. They said a Islamic Jihad rocket hit Gaza hospital while firing at Israel. chat, they think y'all are dumb. Like, they actually think you guys are stupid enough to think that after they warned people to evacuate hospitals and tried to force them to leave and tried to force the medical people in the hospitals to leave their patients, they told them to leave and face consequences just yesterday. And then today they're like, oh, well, it wasn't us that, you know, shot up a missile at the hospital and like killed everybody there. Like, but we did tell y'all to leave though. But it wasn't us. But like, we did tell y'all to leave or something was gonna happen. But it wasn't us though. Like, that's what they're saying. And they're sitting here in your face and trying to tell us, like, you know, this is all on us. So Hamas leaders said they're willing to release all civilian hostages, foreigners, and Israelis if strikes on Gaza stop. Now, I think this is a big deal because if they give this ultimatum now, so people are going to see if Israel still goes in there. This is actually like very strategic. If Israel decides to continue this ground offensive and the missiles firing, just the other day, I don't know what the total is now, but when I listened to the news 2 days ago, they said Israel fired or dropped over 6,000 bombs in 6 days at that time, which they said was a little something like an hour and a half, or not hour and a half, a bomb dropping every minute and a half, which I thought was insane, but it's obviously been more since then. And they fired you know, some air fire strikes at a convoy they told to go to the southern part of the, you know, the area. They told them that they had 24 hours to evacuate where they were at from northern to southern Gaza Strip. And they just so happened to bomb a convoy of women, kids, and ambulances. Oh, and actually, how about this? So they bombed the women, the children, and the convoy. It was like some disabled people too that were, you know, in trucks walking from the northern to southern part of Israel, like they said, or not Israel, but Gaza, like they said. And they bombed them. And then when the emergency people were on the way, but they bombed them. Like when they were on the way to help the people, they bombed them too. And I was just like, okay, I get where y'all are trying to come from with this whole, oh, they have to protect themselves, but it's like at this point, this is not them defending themselves. They said, like, literally one of the leaders of their military said that their goal wasn't accuracy, their goal was damage. There's been so many public statements from like the leaders of their military that make it clear they are being indiscriminate with what they're doing. This is not something that we have to just accept. It's up to us to just accept this. Like, if we just buy into what the mainstream fucking media is saying and don't fucking think for ourselves, they're telling us it's so complicated. Okay, well, let's do our research. When we do our research, we see that some people were already living a place over 75 years ago, and other people work with Nazis. We'll get into that. Other people work with Nazis in order to create their own state and country, regardless who was already living there. And if you do your research, the Palestinian people who were living there in their homes on the other side all those years ago got terrorized by the people that want to take over because they said it's their holy land and God gave it to them. But we got Jewish people disputing this. We got Jewish people saying that's actually not what's allowed in their religion. They're using their religion as a weapon. They're using the Holocaust as that's why they're trying to tie their identity to being Jewish, because then they always have the, oh, it's anti-Semitic like excuse. But it's like that area already had a mixture of Christian, Muslim, Jewish people there. Palestine already had that before they came. But they were just trying to kind of outnumber the Palestinian people in their population to claim that it's their like state, which is why they've been committing this slow but sure human genocide. Like, what's good, J. Luke? How you feeling, fam? Bessie said Palestinians don't even and probably never had enough resources for this to be a fight or war. It's not. It's not a fight. They're using this as an opportunity to wipe out Palestinians, and this is devastating. Exactly. Like they've been trying to do this. They've been inching slower and slower to this. It's just that now they're trying to execute their final plan. And now this is about to cause a regional conflict that's going to get our service people involved, which is so fucking pointless. Like, I get the political agendas and shit people got behind the scenes, but you know, at this point, it's like this shit is inevitable to turn to a regional conflict that affects our service people. So when these groups like Hezbollah and these countries like Iran start calling other countries in to be like, hey, we're not gonna let y'all just sit here and wipe these people out. We don't want to get involved, but we have to get involved. That's what Iran's leader said. And then when they bombed this fucking hospital today, now you're giving people no choice. They already said if Israel continues with the ground invasion, they're gonna step in. So at the end of the day, like, them bombing this hospital is the escalation. They don't even have to start their ground invasion. This was an escalation alone. What they were already doing was bad. It was already horrible. They said the people over there are drinking salt water because they don't have electricity and it's hard to get the water pumped and they're so limited on the water and they don't have food. So like, if people aren't dying from the fucking airstrikes, they're gonna be starved to death or dehydrated to death. So it's like, I mean, some of the statements I've seen from the other leaders, the Israeli leaders, are insane. I mean, once again, I'll show y'all the fucking tweet again, the tweet that I saved. We can go back to it. This is yesterday deleted tweet. I'm telling y'all, like, they're being blatant with this. We're not about to sit here and like both sides this. We're not going to do that. And whoever we gotta talk to that don't understand, we're gonna help you understand. Because what do you mean this is a struggle between the children of light and the children of darkness, between humanity and the law of the jungle? But wait, you got more civilian deaths than you do people who are directly in Hamas. So what do you mean? Y'all have said multiple times that y'all don't care about the accuracy. They're not trying to strategically go for Hamas. They want to cause as much damage as possible. And they've made that abundantly clear. And if anybody's confused or wants to have a conversation on why this is not okay, we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Because you're gonna have to come with some real good information if you want to talk to me about why this is okay. You're like, whoever it is, because, you know, we already had people in here trying to justify civilian deaths and calling stuff propaganda. You know, these people are very clear about what they're doing. Your girl Giannis said, I'm just thinking about the media, the way that war was one of the first words that we heard it. We heard when it has been the absolute furthest thing from the case. Right. It's so blatant. That's why I personally never understood the both sides when the oppressor versus the oppressed has been so clear. They don't even have their own military. They don't even have their own government. Like, what are we talking about? A militant group is not a whole population. And then if we want to get into that, we're going to have to talk about how Israel propped up Hamas because they preferred to have them as a group to attack to justify their crimes against everyone else rather than the regular democratic, less aggressive political group. So it's like you can't just bring up part of the information. We have to look at the full spectrum of this. They're second-class citizens. It's been recognized as an apartheid state. They've always committed crimes against humanity and war crimes against the innocent people here. And they haven't done anything to try to target the group that they're claiming is the problem. You're calling it one group and then you're killing everyone. Like, that's not, I'm not going for it. Wimmy said, a terrorist organization. Okay, I saw that. This conflict has been going on for decades now. It's just gotten exacerbated over the last few weeks. Oh yeah, I mean, the last few years, I would say since 2014, it's gotten progressively worse. Your girl Yana said, anyone seeing these videos, reading these sources, if they're still wondering and on the fence or justifying anything at this point, I just can't even imagine. Yeah, girl, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it everywhere. And the way the media is covering it, I'm gonna just filter through some tweets right quick and I'll show y'all. I don't want to pull up the tweets because there's been a lot of graphic tweets, so I'm gonna search through myself because I saved a bunch of tweets about this, but Twitter just so happened to not actually save my bookmarks on certain stuff, so I'm gonna have to go through and find it again. Oh my god, this is the Doctors Without Borders, bro. This was a bro, they're doing a press conference. Oh my gosh, do they have a translation? Yo, oh my gosh, this is a massacre, chat. This is not a very cool thing. This is not a cool thing. This is not a cool thing. I don't feel like we have the right to sit here and pick a side that has the support of our government and is doing this stuff. I just don't. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. A lot of people are too fucking bloodthirsty, and when this shit blows back on us, then what? Because it's gonna be the people who are gonna suffer the most are the people who have the least to do with it. Or they could just sit back and have meetings and request bigger budgets and send our fucking troops to do all of the dirty work, right? They gotta go over there. So now we gotta have some people that lose their life. Now we have to have people who are stationed all in the Middle East and around the world possibly get attacked because we want to stand by these people just literally doing the most. Like they are literally trying to just see how much they can get away with, honestly. They're getting away with everything as of right now. Biden's going to Israel tomorrow to double down on his support unconditionally. Like, if y'all feel like we need to have unconditional support for any question, I'm gonna have to ask you why. Huh. Let's check this one out. We're gonna save this. Cause like I would just scroll, but like I'm honestly scared. Oh, the poor baby. And mind y'all, most of this population is young people. Like, at the end of the day, sometimes it's okay for us to just be like, you know, we need to learn more. We need to get more information. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea for us to start doing that instead of just blindlessly believing whatever we see. If you actually do any sort of studying, like, it's very easy to see that like all governments, and especially ours, has a amazing history with like propaganda and sometimes even faking shit to manufacture our consent to do all types of stuff. I mean, really, it's crazy. We literally dropped a bomb. We dropped a nuclear weapon on Japan back in the day. Like, that's crazy that that even happened. Like, that's crazy. I appreciate you, Maddie. So like, I just want people to understand. Two nukes, my bad, you're right. It was on what was it, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And what's crazy, I learned before Pearl Harbor, the United States actually knew they had provoked Japan first because they wanted to get political control of it to have a strategic like alliance in the vicinity of China, essentially. And they weren't trying to cooperate on the United States terms, so they start provoking them politically and with our military. Those, you know, those aren't the mainstream stories. And then they actually knew that Japan was going to attack days before they actually attacked Pearl Harbor, and they just like ignored it because they knew that if they allowed the attack to happen, which was retaliation for what our government did, of course, then they would be able to manufacture public consent for going to war and doing what they want to do. You know, Wimmy said, imagine being the only country to drop a nuclear weapons and then be the country that spearheads disarmament. What a joke. Right. I mean, we have placed embargoes on countries, trade embargoes, like stopping all types of stuff from getting in there. And at the same time, like, you try to like disarm all the other countries because you don't want to get retaliated against for like, honestly, like all the stuff we do, like, you know, because it's all about just maintaining more political control. It's all about like just gaining more power and kind of, yeah, a lot of it is money. A lot of it is money and certain people's agendas. Guys, WTF, LMAO, are you gonna elaborate or what do you have to say? Okay, chat. I'm gonna keep looking through some tweets to pull some stuff up because all my stuff didn't save. Yeah, we know. That's Maddie. Okay, let's see. Because, like, Lord, the propaganda is crazy. The propaganda is crazy. Okay. They said it was. They said that the blast at the hospital was caused by a failed Islamic Jihad rocket. Okay. I do not at this time. The lens I looked through is very different. That's fine. You can share a very different opinion and I'll give my very different opinion right back. If your different opinion involves condoning indiscriminate targeting, well, I can't even call it targeting. That would be too generous because they made that clear that that was not their position. But if it's anything related to that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And please share your opinion, please, because it needs to be a conversation. It needs to be a conversation. I said from the beginning, you know, if anybody wants to give their opinion, about why they think this is okay, I'm sure free to, like, you know, talk about it, because let's talk about it. And the journalism, quote unquote. What about the Japan thing? I don't know what the controversial part was. We were trying to gain influence in Japan. They didn't want to. We provoked them, stoke conflict like we do in every other region. It's a history of this happening. Like, it's literally happened every area that we have like any type of influence in, like, to some degree. Some places more than others. But like, it's the America is so bad. It's the justification for targeting Holocaust supporters. Targeting Holocaust supporters. I'm confused.
East Jerusalem. Let's head to Ramallah now, where Charles Stratford is standing by for us in the occupied West Bank. Charles, we're seeing some tense scenes in Ramallah at the moment. Talk us through what's happening.
Yeah, sorry, it's even difficult for us to breathe here from the office as these clouds of tear gas rise. But yeah,
oh, they're throwing tear gas. Yeah, they're protesting.
Basically, street battles between protesters and Palestinian security forces. They're throwing rocks, sound bombs.
Wow.
The police is throwing sound bombs. I just saw an ambulance. I was unsure as to whether anybody has been injured.
Yo, these press people, man. I gotta give my respect to all the press, because there's been a lot of it's been a lot of like Germany during World War II. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of people are pro-Germany. So America's best justification for targeting Holocaust supporters. I don't get it. Like, the point that I'm making is that our country provokes things and funds things, you know, that cause political instability so that they can gain more influence. BC, real quick, after I talk about this, I'll get to talking a little later. I want to get through all the new stuff. So, I just feel like Wimmy said, yeah, but do you really think attacking civilians is justified instead of targeting military targets? Right, because like we can have a conflict and everything with the government and you know all that, but it's like we drop nuclear weapons on them. Like, that is fucking insane. Like, and then our country goes around just trying to be like the police for everybody else, because we have to prevent retaliation for the things that we've done. Essentially, we either try to neutralize them, convert them to being our ally or an asset, or, you know, it is really not too much in between. There kind of is, like, sometimes we'll just like kind of fund corruption and stuff like that, but there's a lot of different ways. For some places you get a nuclear weapon dropped on you, other places, you know, your economy gets fucked. Some other countries, they got active war, like, but I'm basically just making the point that it's very common for our militaries to cause conflicts that end up having blowback on us later, which is why we gotta have so much protection and defending ourselves. It's not defending our rights, it's defending ourselves to a smaller degree from things coming back and affecting us later down the line. That's what we gotta be protected from, essentially. And you know, the sad part is that a lot of it is just like, a lot of it is not even related to shit that would be a thing if we didn't have like greedy, evil people in the world. Like, Maddie said, with projections coming out from non-US sources showing nuking of Japan saved about 20 to 30 million and killed around, what is that? That 200,000 is so many zeros. I do agree that US being global herpes is really dumb. It's dumb because it comes back and ends up affecting us. Streamcloud said, don't agree with police in the world, wish we would stay out of conflicts, not our business. Oh, but Streamcloud, that wouldn't make as much money if we minded our business. So of course we have to. Of course. Politicians wouldn't be getting money from all these different you know, groups that have different interests. You know, it's just, it's too much fucking corruption. Both parties is both of them. Like, that's why they have the politicians, all of them to some degree, under their thumb or under their influence, because it's like, if you're tied to a party, they get PAC money from these different organizations that have their own vested interests. They get donations from these companies in the military industrial complex. They're trying to make money. War makes them money, and they get rich off of it. They buy stocks. That's what I was trying to look at on Unusual Wells. That's what I was trying to look at. That congressperson, the congressperson that bought those stocks. I mean, this happens all the time, but let's see. And it's like, this shit is just only gonna make, hold on, let's see. I'm trying to find it. What the fuck? That was crazy. That was a great tweet. Let's see. It was from the other day. What was this? Millions of dollars. Okay, that's, hold on, I gotta go back a little recent. Is this the real Unusual Wells? I don't see frequent enough posts. This is a fake one. Oh my god, chat. Blame the vape. Oh my god. Where are they? Where's the one with the check mark? Bro, are they not verified? Nah, this gotta be them. There we go. Yeah, they're not verified. Jordan's foreign minister says the summit between Palestine and Egyptian leaders with Biden on Wednesday is canceled. That's not good. That's not good. So now these other countries about to get together and figure out how they about to retaliate, and our service people are gonna be high-risk targets, all because we want to unconditionally stand by these people that are trying to use this to commit genocide. Okay, I found the real Unusual Wells, y'all. I was like, that other one just don't have enough posts to be the real one. Okay, it's probably gonna be too long. It was yesterday. Oh, here we go. There, that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's see. Let's look at this, chat. So Unusual Wells is a place, you know, stocks, options, you know, stock market type stuff, and they like report on what a lot of Congress representatives do with their, you know, stuff. So US politicians are benefiting personally from the Israel-Hamas war as well as the Ukraine war. Here's all the stocks: Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. Yep, here we go. Ah, look at all the people. I'm telling y'all, it's both parties. It's both parties. Wow, who is Kevin Hearn? He is getting a lot of money. Jeez Louise. Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, girl, I see you, girl. I see you, Nancy. I knew she was gonna be up there at the top. Wow, all the stocks up. They happy. They're excited. They're rubbing their hands with this. That's crazy. Maddie said military supplies people and people working in factories making physical supply. Wait. Military supplies people and the people working in factories making physical. Yeah, we did nuke metropolitan areas and their cultural sites just to be an extra little bit of disrespectful as well. Broke several, like, you know, international laws and shit, but we were never held accountable for that. And look, now Japan's our ally. They just so happen to also have some business interests in Japan, huh? Was that a coincidence, or y'all think that had anything to do with it too? Just curious. Just curious if that was just a coincidence, you know, wipe out their country and then rebuild it with the United States as an ally with political and economic influence in the country, and privatize businesses and other businesses with government contracts. All of those things, it was clearly ulterior motives and it was indiscriminate. So Japan was his ally and they were not. May 14, 1945, Hitler was defeated. August, we dropped the first bomb. Okay, I guess y'all are... Okay, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I don't agree with indiscriminate targeting in war. Like, I don't care what the objective or the reason is. I don't care. Like, we're not gonna, there's no way that we're gonna put this that's going to justify and or explain why they approach that situation and once after it in that same manner. It doesn't make sense. We know there's other reasons that they do that type of stuff, but saying that it was like tactical in any type of way, I think it's just like insane. It wasn't targeted. So do you think like our military was just like that, I don't know what the word, incompetent, that they couldn't do it another way? If they're saying that, you know, that's who they're targeting, I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think if they wanted to handle that situation differently and other ones like that, they could have. Same thing with the conflict in the Middle East throughout, you know, early 2000s, 90s. The military is hella incompetent. I'm not gonna say that they're not incompetent. What I am gonna say, if they are incompetent, they also weaponize their incompetence for ulterior motives. That's what I'll say. Because it's not for no reason. It's not for no reason. At times maybe, but like there's strategy behind it, which is the overall problem. I'll be right back.
Utter chaos here. You're probably hearing that. The protests started in the central square, a place called Manara, and they were trying to head towards one of the main Palestinian Authority administrative buildings. and then they were pushed back by security forces. As we heard Imran say, a lot of the focus of this protest, excuse me, the tear gas is still coming up through the window here, is anger with Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president. They want him back. They say that he is completely ineffectual, many of these protesters. In fact, there were chants for him to step aside. This is basically an indication just how tenuous the Palestinian president's position is here in the West Bank. The people here have obviously been, these protests are getting larger and more frequent as the war in Gaza goes on, but this is long-standing problems, grievances that they have with the Palestinian president. I'm seeing groups of men running back now, as I say, some still throwing rocks. This is not a Hamas demonstration by any stretch. This is just a general group of people who have political affiliations or support various different political groups that are just basically sick and tired, another sound bomb there, that are sick and tired of what they say is the complete ineffectuality of the Palestinian leader. And of course, this has happened on the same night as we've seen that horrific attack on Gaza.
So this is why I didn't want to share my opinion. You can share your opinion. Everybody's entitled to share their opinion. It's just like, if you're going to share your opinion, you just got to be okay with hearing other people's opinions back. It doesn't have to be, oh, this is why I don't say anything. Like, I think that's completely unnecessary. Nobody's ostracizing you or targeting you for your opinion. You know, it's just a conversation. Wimmy says, not an opinion where facts are twisted. If you really think Hitler was still alive when we dropped bombs, then so be it. Look, I don't know about that. Look, y'all can have that conversation. All I'm saying, what I said still stands regardless. Like, I don't care. I really don't care, like, about arguing over something like that when the point still stands that there's multiple reasons why politicians and people in power have a vested interest with this type of political turmoil and chaos. We create situations in order to manufacture consent. There's a lot of ulterior motives and alternate agendas in every single conflict, war we have. That is the point. That's the take-home point that I'm making with that. I just used that as another example. Exactly, and that's why we have the conversation, so we can actually talk about that instead of leaving it on surface level and just saying, oh, it's complicated. You know, let's actually use our fucking brains to analyze things ourselves. That's the whole purpose of this. So I'm glad everybody can think for themselves and come to their own conclusions. But some people can't.
Gaza, on that hospital, with what we understand are hundreds of people killed. But yeah, this is by far the largest protest that we've seen in Ramallah since the beginning of the war on Gaza. We understand there were similar protests in a number of other towns in the occupied West Bank, notably Jenin. We heard also, we can't confirm it yet, that protest was broken up by Palestinian security forces too. So yeah, as I say, scenes of utter chaos here, and seemingly the police struggling to control the situation.
Charles, you mentioned that you had been affected by tear gas. Are you okay to keep going?
Yeah, we can keep going now.
Journalists are brave,
but as I say, there's a lot more being thrown. Please continue.
Yes. So when I saw your last cross to our previous presenter, Nastasia, it looked like things had been relatively peaceful.
You broke that shit.
What's changed? Has there been
the
something
hospital
that's
being bombed, girl? That's what changed, girl. What? Hello?
Well, it was a peaceful protest. I suppose it took about an hour or so for people to gather. But as I say, as they
They
try
heard
to
the
march up towards
news.
the Muqata, which is the main Palestinian Authority building here in Ramallah, that's when they were blocked by Palestinian security forces. The tear gas and the sound bombs started to be fired.
And they broke the whole
They're
thing
now
and said, fuck that.
gathering again, seemingly in the square. There's no sign of any security forces there at the moment, but I think that they pushed back up the roads. But yeah,
Sierra fan. Well, that's okay. Y'all don't have to care. I care enough to try to understand this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's like, if our money and we are being represented by what goes on and we're contributing to it, I think we at least need to know what's going on. Because just getting our information straight from mainstream media that got all types of funding, you know, behind it for people with different agendas, it's just going to come out skewed. Like, seeing even the way that some of the reporters have been talking about unsubstantiated stories, like, it's just insane. But it's always been like that. It's just, we need to start being able to recognize, like, in really just critically thinking and critiquing things, and not just accepting like whatever we get told, and actually try to like understand it ourselves to some extent. Like, because what we're being fed is just not it. So many people have stuff to gain, money to gain, power to gain from all these different things, and if we don't understand those dynamics, we like are really just gonna like idly stand by. And then when, you know, terrorist attacks happen, or when you know, our military people get it in conflicts or die or whatever, because of, you know, the rising tensions wherever they're at, or even here or wherever, like, then that's when we look like, oh my god, how did this happen? But it's like, look at what our government is doing. Look at what these politicians are trying to do. They are excited for war. We just looked at the fucking tweet that showed you the top politicians with money, stocks in these war stocks, in the military industrial complex stocks. And this is just the part that we can see. This is just the part that's reported. They don't even be reporting everything right. And there's other avenues that they get some of those funds too. So I'm just saying, like, if you don't know, it's just like, why would you care? Why would you care about something you don't understand? Why would you care about something that isn't fed to you in your daily media feed or by the mainstream news? They tell us what to care about. They tell us what they care about, and they leave out other shit. And then you know, we find out in times like this where something major happens, and then we come in with our half-baked opinions because we don't even know what the fuck's going on. And it makes it easier when you have a population that can't fucking critically think. That is going to be easier to sway their opinions and, you know, push out propaganda for whatever fucking real agendas y'all really have. And it's like, a lot of us don't even see that. A lot of people don't see it. A lot of people don't get that. They're not wrong and wanting to know, we got black babies dying right here every night, I can't be outraged about other countries. No, that's valid. That's valid. I think that's completely valid. And I think a lot of other people feel that way about a lot of other things. But for me, I think all of it is a point of emphasis. I'm combining both. Look at what's going on in our country and look what we're contributing to other countries. Look at how easily we can find the funds and make up the money to fund stuff like this. But they don't care about all the other plethora of issues we have here. Plethora issues. Like, I mean, an extreme amount of a wealth divide. All the fucking issues. I mean, we could go down the fucking list. It's just too many fucking issues to name. Our infrastructure sucks. Housing is not affordable. Healthcare is not affordable. They politicize the stuff that would actually help us and make it a position, but both parties get together to fund stuff like this, or get funding and money, campaign donations, that is the reason for supporting stuff like this. But they tell us, oh, we can't afford this stuff y'all are asking for. It's unreasonable. We don't have the budget, you know. But they've already been directing money towards all of these different conflicts. They're just asking for even more. We've already given Israel over $230 billion in funding, and that's just what's on paper since, you know, the state was established. But they're getting even more money. They already asked for a financial aid package. We already been funding the damn war for Ukraine. So it's like, goddamn, like, y'all seem to always find a way when it comes to other shit. But for us, we all got to get excuses. I think that should make us mad. I think this should piss us off that our money is going towards political instability, genocide, killing people, causing chaos all over the place, but we can't even give money for fucking anybody that needs it in this country. That should